Be ready. Start. The center has started reaching out to opposition parties to build a unified response for moving an impeachment motion against the High Court Judge Justice Yaswant Verma in the monsoon session of Parliament, which is likely to be held from July 21 to August 12. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju told The Hindu that the Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs had sent a recommendation to President Draupadi Murmu that Parliament be summoned on the dates declared by the committee a day after a joint push by the opposition calling for a special session to discuss Operation Sindoor. Every session is a special session for us, Mr. Rizuzu said, adding that under the rules, all important matters could be discussed during the monsoon session. Speaking on his outreach to opposition parties over an impeachment motion against Justice Verma, he said that he had spoken to leaders in the Congress, the Trinamool Congress, the Dravid Munnar Kongam, and the Samajwadi Party, and would be speaking to others soon. Most of the outreach was positive, but parties have asked for a day or two to consult within their parties for a firmer view. The government's effort is to get all parties to take a unified view on an issue pertaining to corruption in the judiciary. Government sources elaborating on the impeachment process said that in the case of Justice Verma, there were two views with regard to setting up a committee of inquiry upon the admission of the impeachment motion in either house of parliament. By the Constitution, the moment a motion of impeachment is admitted in either house, the presiding officer of that house has to set up a committee with a Supreme Court judge, a High Court Chief Justice, and an eminent jurist, which then has to submit its report within 3 months of admittance of the motion. One view is that there is no need for a second committee to inquire into the matter as the committee mandated by the Supreme Court has already gone into the matter. The other view is that it is in the domain of the presiding officer of the House where the impeachment motion has been admitted to decide whether or not to set up a committee, the source said. Asked whether opposition leaders had asked about the fate of the impeachment motion sponsored by the opposition against Justice Shekhar Yadav. Government sources said the two cases were not comparable as one pertained to remarks made by a judge and the other was an issue of corruption. The Congress and the Trinamool, however, have questioned the long notice given by the government for the monsoon session, which they said had been done solely to run away from the demand of the opposition for a special session. Normally, the dates for a parliament session are announced a few days in advance. Never have the dates been declared 47 days before a session is due. Congress General Secretary Jairam Ramesh said in a post on the social media platform. The opposition would discuss the impact of Operation Sindoor and its blatant politicization, the revelations of the Chief of Defense Staff in Singapore, the hyphenation of India and Pakistan, the embedding of China in the Pakistan Air Force, the continuous claims of US President Donald Trump on mediation, and the numerous failures of our foreign policy and diplomatic engagement, Mr. Ramesh said. The parliamentary party leader of the Trinamool in the Rajya Sabha, Derek O'Brien, described the long notice for the session as parliament phobia. Parliamentophobia, my word for the acute condition of a government who gave a morbid fear of racing parliament, running away from a special session, Mr. O'Brien posted on social platform. Later, he said the government had in the past 11 years often called the monsoon session on 2 to 3 weeks' notice, and this was the first time they have announced it a month and a half beforehand. Hours after the center announced the census schedule, the Congress on Wednesday said there was no reason to delay the exercise for another 23 months and slammed the Modi government for not meeting deadlines. There is really no reason to delay the census that was due in 2021 for another 23 months. The Modi government is capable only of generating headlines, not meeting deadlines. Congress Communications Chief Jairam Ramesh said in a post on social media platform. The Ministry of Home Affairs announced that the 2027 census with caste enumeration will be carried out with the reference date of October 1, 2016, 26 in snow-bound areas like Ladakh and reference date of March 1, 2027 in the rest of the country.